Hey everybody, it's Dan from the Outdoor Trade Show Network. It is, what do we got, man? Are we Monday night or Tuesday night? I can't even keep track. We're Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday all day.
Tuesday, April 14th of 2020. I got my good friend and my cousin Matt Butcher here with me. And what we're going to talk about tonight is Matt sent me a video on breaking in a new pair of boots because he spends a lot of time on his feet and I spend a lot of time on my feet walking. And people don't break their boots in right. And when you don't break your boots in right, if your boots aren't right, you have a bad day. There's nothing more important than your feet, than taking care of your feet and making sure that those boots, when they're brand new, you get them broke in right. So Matt did a video on that. Then Matt went to Normandy you jumped in, you parachuted into Normandy for the 75th anniversary of Normandy. And then you went back in September, and you did Market Garden. You parachuted in for Market Garden. So tell everybody a little bit about what went on with everything that you did in Normandy. And then Belgium is where was Market Garden at? That was in
Holland.
That was in Holland. Okay. So you were in Holland for that. And then we're going to talk about, you just retired as a border agent. You worked out in Nogales, right out of Nogales down there. So you can talk a little bit about coronavirus and the border and how things have changed down there. So Matt, with that, what should we start with? Should we start with the boots?
Sure.
Introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are, and then let me know. You did a video here. When you tell me when you want me to run the video.
Okay, I'm Dan's cousin Matt. I'm down here in Arizona, retired military and border patrol agent. And I looked around online for videos on people on how to break in boots, and a lot of them were really long-winded. And after in the military, living in your boots and how important it is to get good boots, which a lot of people don't get, and how to break them in properly, it's absolutely essential if you're out hiking or hunting, especially far away from help. Right.
I like Red Wings and I like Danners. What are your brands? I like Red Wings. I'm still a Red Wing guy. Good pair of Red Wings.
Yep. I wore Red Wings when I was a kid, but 30 years ago, I got a pair of Danners, and I've never turned back. I keep the same model and everything, and I never had a problem.
So let me play around with my buttons up here. I got buttons I got to play with. Do you want me to run that video that you did?
Sure.
And I'll do that here. So let's do this here, and then we'll do that. And then from there, I'm going to run your video, Matt. Here we go.
If you have ever bought a new pair of boots and taken them out on an excursion, hike, hunting, whatever, without properly breaking them in first, you found out pretty quick what a bad idea that was. Very easy to get blisters. You're very likely to. So let's talk about how to prevent that and break your boots in right. To start the break-in, prepare them for how you're going to wear them. Here's my insole. It's trimmed so that the portion that's under my toes is trimmed away, because with that there, it pushes my toes up against the top of the boot on the inside. Now with a lot of boots, especially top quality ones like this, they're going to have a coating on the leather to help protect it during storage and shipping. So we want to take that off with some rubbing alcohol. Don't use too much. You don't want to damage any glues or other materials that are being used in the boot. Just take it like that. Make sure you get the tongue in here. Take off that top protective coating. Now I've got the boot partly laced up. The insoles are in. I've got the heavy socks on that I will be wearing with these boots at all times. And they're tight. The leather isn't stretched yet. That's going to happen in the next step. And even more so over time. So when you lace them up, you want to make sure the tongue down here in the corners, it's pushed in as you go, You tighten them up. And we're gonna lace them up tight. Okay, now we got some good warm water in this tub. And I've been letting them soak for a couple minutes now. You don't want it hot where it could scald you. You get that hot water in these boots, you won't get them off quick enough to stop you from scalding your feet. So be careful about the temperature. And after a couple minutes, water soaks in, you start doing some stretches. Just like if you were taking some steps in them. So this is going to help loosen up the leather. The water is warm but not hot, so it's going to help loosen up the glues a little bit. And you want to stretch just like this. Stretch at the ankle, stretch at the front ball of your foot. And you'll notice already that the boots are softening up from the water. Do some squats in there maybe. Stuff like that. Get that leather to loosen up. And after about 4 or 5 minutes of that, go out for a walk. Nothing too much. Maybe 10 minutes. Walk 5 minutes out, 5 minutes back. And by the next day, when they're mostly dried out, you'll notice a huge difference how well they're broken in already. And to make it even better, repeat this process again. Works for me every time. You get some new boots. I do this a few times. I can take them out on a long hike. No blisters, no pain, no problems. So after the walk, then the next day, maybe 2 days, boots are starting to dry out good. Treat the leather with some good quality leather conditioner. You generally want to use water or silicone based. A good quality name brand one. There's lots of them out there. People also use mink oil, neat's foot oil, stuff like that. But if you go with a good water or silicone based, you can't go wrong.
There you go, Matt. Thanks. Now let me do this. I'll get you back up there. There you go, Matt. You're back up. So thanks, Matt. That was nice. I like that. The only thing I never put my boots in warm water before. I will on the next pair though. I will on the next pair. And then I use mink oil. I put mink oil on them. I do 2 or 3 different coatings of mink oil. So hopefully that helped people out. That helped anybody looking to break in a new pair of boots. There you go. That's thanks, Matt.
It's a faster way to do it. There's lots of ways to do it. That's one that works a little faster. You get them broken properly right up front, and because man, can you get yourself in trouble if you're a long ways from help and your feet go out on you.
Yeah, and your boots are bad. Now let's go to Normandy. Let's talk about Normandy. Tell everybody a little bit about you parachuted in. You were part of tell everybody about what happened and what went on in your experience.
Well, I got together with some guys and we formed an organization, Veterans Parachute Battalion, and to honor those who fought in World War II, the U.S. and all the allies, we put a lot of time and effort into going there, and we're happy to do it. And there was some other groups who found and refurbished, over collecting millions of dollars, the original planes that flew in paratroopers into D-Day and dropped them on top of the Nazis. So they refurbished those planes. We got together with that organization. We got over in those planes, flew across the English Channel, parachuted into Normandy. And the best part was a lot of those, well, there's not a lot left, but the ones that are, a lot of them came back to Normandy, the original paratroopers who jumped in. And just to meet those guys and think about the incredible missions that they did. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around, parachuting at night behind Nazi lines and taking them down. Just incredible. And to honor those, we went over and did the best we could to reenact it.
And you had all the old, back in 1940, you had 1940 uniforms on, everything but parachutes, right? You had modern day parachutes, but everything was
right.
recreated as much as you could. And then you said that the people and the wine and the food, you said it was fantastic.
Yeah. And the French people, and there were people there from all over, and everybody, it was just, all of Normandy was just a huge party for a week. It was just incredible. President Trump came over and spoke, and everywhere you looked, it was just total elation and happiness and party. Yeah,
that was nice. And then you went back in, what was it, September? And then you went into Holland for Market Garden. And same thing?
Yeah.
Was it the same thing all over again?
Yeah. Not quite as big, but it was still really big, and tens of thousands of people showed up on our drop zone, and and some of the World War II veterans too. They had their own special area, and I got to walk past them and salute them after I jumped in. And man, just to think about what they did, I still can't wrap my head around it.
Now I got a question. You said you guys had a good time, flying in. And then you talked to the Black Rifle Coffee guys. Which trip was it? Was it the Normandy trip that they entered, the Black Rifle Coffee guys interviewed you, or was it the Holland trip? It was the Normandy one?
Normandy, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of neat when I saw the video, and there's Matt talking to and those guys did a nice job with their videos. If you go to Black Rifle Coffee on YouTube, look at their Normandy videos. They did a really nice job.
They did an incredible job. You really get a sense of the spirit that was all over Normandy by watching the Black Rifle Coffee video there. They got a lot of awesome footage and interviews and talked to some of the World War II veterans, and it was awesome.
Yeah, you said you had a good time. A lot of wine and a lot of food.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, let's get to the next subject that we were talking about. You just retired as a Border Patrol agent, and you said that now that the Corona thing has kicked in, they've gone back to the old way of what I want to share with people is this: whenever there was issues going on with the border and all that goofy border stuff, I would call Matt up, because I knew Matt was working down in Nogales down there. I'd say, Matt, okay, what's the truth? What's really going on at the border? And usually you were working. You'd be like, okay, I'm out. I'm right on the border right now. and there's some guys. So, but you said they're going back to the old ways. What are they doing now with this Corona thing on the border?
Well, years ago when I first started, we were still filling out paperwork with carbon paper, to make copies and everything on when you catch somebody, to get them put into the system. And then if they didn't have a criminal record, we put them in a van, send them straight to the border, and dump them off at the port of entry, send them right back into Mexico. And over the years, more and more bureaucracy came in to where it was just getting ridiculous. And we couldn't do that anymore for many years. Well, now they've gone back to it, because they don't want them in our cells if they have any diseases, and because the agents are exposed to all kinds of diseases. Tuberculosis is a big one, smallpox, measles, chickenpox. So it's a big burden on and safety hazard for the agents and stuff and everybody. So now they're back to throw them in a van if they're not a criminal, and take them back to the border and drop them off, which is great. Huge improvement.
Okay. That's good. I wanted to clear. We were talking about that. I had to laugh because you said now it's just get them to the border and it really just turn them, kick their butt back into Mexico.
Take them back. Yep.
And just turn them loose.
Yeah. And they come back, but after you catch them like 4 times, they're like, I'm done. I'm going back to Guatemala. Yeah.
Oh, Lordy. Okay. Well, with that, are we done, Matt? Did we cover our bases here? And the
I
other
think
thing
so.
I want to
Oh,
check on people is this. I didn't get to do this at the beginning. I want to make sure that everybody's all right. Everybody do me a favor. Let me know that you're all right. That's the big thing with doing this. I want to make sure that everybody out there is all right. And I don't know, Matt, we didn't get a chance to talk about this. There's a lot of crazy stuff on the internet today about what really is going on? What do you believe? What don't you believe? There's a lot out there. Maybe I could ask this question of people is what are you seeing that maybe somebody should look at because you can't trust anymore. Matt, when you and I were growing up, Walter Cronkite, whatever Walter Cronkite said, you listened to. Well, that doesn't work that way anymore. So, it just doesn't work that way anymore. And maybe people post what you're seeing, what videos you're watching, what makes sense to you that maybe the rest of us can watch and try to wrap our heads a little bit around this mess that we got going on.
well, a big thing I always tell people is all these media outlets are businesses first. They have an ulterior motive, unlike OTSN, who does not have an ulterior motive. All these media outlets have an ulterior motive. They are about profit, number one. They're not about giving you the news. They're about hooking you in and keeping viewers the most possible so they can get advertising revenue. And they'll tell you the craziest, they'll bring on guests that'll tell you the craziest stuff. The guest is trying to get attention for whatever they're doing.
Because they want to come back. Yeah,
they want to come back and plug whatever they're doing. And everyone has an ulterior motive on there. And so you gotta check lots of different sources and be keeping that in mind all the time. What's the overall umbrella motive
or what makes sense? What feels right? Right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I was talking to a gentleman just before you and I came on, and this has got to change. They got to open things up. This cannot go on like this. And I don't know if it comes to the point that if you see somebody doing something stupid, you kick them in the ass. Just give them wear your steel-toed shoes, kick them in the ass, But we got to get back. We got to get our lives back. Life goes on. Okay.
Yeah.
We can't let this control our lives. So whatever we have to do as a group or a society or as a people, we got to get our lives back. Life goes on. We can't, we have to go on. So let's see. What do we got? Doug Golden says, love it. Thank you, Doug. We love having Doug. And other than that, I don't see any other comments, Matt. So you got anything you want to add or anything people should be looking at?
Yes, I want to add that companies out there, I understand that finding time to get videos together, to advertise and sell your product is difficult. Get a hold of me. I would love to help. I talked to Mike Ransom today, and I'm going to be working with him on ransom rests and putting together some good footage for him for OTSN. And I'm glad to help. And I'm not no charge, anything like that, especially if you're in Arizona. I can come right to you, and a cup of coffee would be nice. But other than that, I just like to come out and help you if I can. If you're outside Arizona, I'll walk you through how you can send me video footage, and we'll work it out if you're having problems with that.
And like I told Mike, I talked to Mike, you did too. My big thing is I want people selling guns. I want them selling guns on our TV channel. And I want them selling, if you got a product, any product's got to do with the outdoors. I want you selling it on our TV network. But my big one is this. I want to sell guns on TV.
Yeah.
So,
but anything though, right? Anything. Hunting, camping, fishing, hiking, shooting,
Yeah. And we had Carlos and Joe were on last night. Carlos's big deal is veteran-owned companies. He is going to, that's his thing that he's going to concentrate. When he wakes up in the morning, he wants to help his veteran buddies. He wants to help so he's going to concentrate on veteran-owned companies. That's Carlos's big deal. My thing is everybody. You're all welcome. So sell what you make on TV. Get us a video. Get it in our TV network. Sell what you make on TV. And I keep trying to preach it. But you talk to Mike. Mike hopefully is going to get us some gun companies in here. But Mike makes some really good stuff. I put his thing up, ransomrest.com again, and you're going to go talk to Mike. Mike's a pretty good dude. So
Awesome. Awesome, dude. Yep.
What have we got? Nobody else has got anything in there, Matt. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably end this, if that's all right with you, unless you got something you want to add to people.
Just put my Yahoo address up so people can, in the comments or whatever, or I will.
I didn't put that in my assets, so I can't. I should have done it. Yeah.
I'll do it in the comments, so that
you can do it in the comments.
Who wants help, getting some video content together, just email me.
Okay. With that, let me do this here, and I'm going to probably cut you out of there, Matt. And then what I'm going to do is say thank you to everybody. Matt, thank you. And say thank you. And good night, everybody. Join us tomorrow night at 7 o'clock again. We're going to do outdoor news.
Sounds good.